welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make a mobile, a very natural mobile. So what I've done is gone around the park and collected lots of different things. So you see I've got some conkers, I've got some rosemary, feathers, beautiful seed heads, catkins, leaves, and attached them all on this branch. So it's a bit of a fun thing. There isn't a set pattern to this, it's exactly how you want it to look. And your branch doesn't have to be straight like this. I've picked another one up because I'm going to show you how to do it. You might find you prefer to go for a really abstract branch, and there'd be nothing wrong at all with hanging your pieces of decoration from something like that. So when you're out looking on your walk at the weekend, you can decide whether you want to go for something like this, something nice and straight, something with a big kinky branch in the centre of it, but that's up to you, it's your design. So how do we get all these little things onto here? Well, basically, a bit of string, bit of cotton, and it's just a case of tying them on. So you can see we've put feathers on like this. We've got some really nice pine cones, which you might find are a little bit hard this time of year, but even if they're closed up, if you bring them in the wall, they actually soon start opening. So if I was going to add another pine cone onto here, what I would do is take my string and I would feed it all around the bottom into the little cone pieces, and then when it's really close to there, I would just tie a little knot, and that's how you get a string of pine cones on it. And that's all you're going to do for most of these pieces. I've actually dried some oranges out here just for a little bit of different colour. So you see we've got orange slices. This is a clematis, which I thought was really, really pretty, a bit like smoke. When it comes to putting leaves on, once you've got them nice and dry, all I did was to get a skewer, so be very careful, make sure you've got an adult to help you, and then just make a small hole in it, poke it through, and then you can feed the string through and then just tie a little knot in it, and that's the way of getting those on. And you can put a little knot on them afterwards if you're going to pop another one on. So when it came to threading the chestnuts on, I actually got a drill, so you might need some help with that, just to make a little hole, and then you can thread them on, and you could make a big long string of those. These are alder seed heads, which are really, really pretty. But again, just taking the string and then just tying them on nice and tightly, so that you've got a little line of them like that. And then, so we've got the herb rosemary here, which is going to dry really nice. You could try doing this another time of the year and perhaps using things like lavender. And obviously in the summer you're going to get lots of poppy heads, so you might find that it's worth looking at making a different one at a different time of year, and you'll find that different shapes and different textures will be around, and then you can take pictures of them and compare them throughout the year. So a little bit of rosemary on this one. So this will dry quite nicely. You could also do things like conifer, which I've got here. You might want to do some blue pine. I've actually got some beautiful little catkins here as well, which will all hang nice. So the more interesting your shapes are, the nicer the overall effect will be. Also got some little crab apples here as well. So if I was going to put these on, again I might just take my skewer and put a small hole all the way through, go through it both ways, and then just feed them through. Okay. Now teasels are a really interesting shape, but quite prickly, so you might want to put gloves on when you're working with those. And then these were I collected by the river, so you've got some like reed heads as well, so it looks like a little tail really. So it's entirely up to you how much you put on. You can then decide how big you want your stick. So this is about the same size, a little bit longer than the one I've done before, and I actually hung a couple of little branches on the end of this one. But all you need to do is decide which one you want as your focal point for the centre. So I might start with the rosemary and drop that on, and all you're going to do is keep tying it up to the top branch, and the more you vary your heights and lengths, the more interesting it will start to look. So that's what you'll need to do. Start taking all your little pieces, and then any excess string can be cut off at the end so it looks nice and neat and tidy. So we'll just add these on. We've got our leaves. So these are oak leaves. So in the autumn you might find that you could collect perhaps 10 or 12 different leaves and have them all strung up in a nice row, all the lovely different colours that you get. So you can see we're starting to build it up with all different colours here. Just to make it a bit more interesting, I've also added a little bunch of twigs there. So for the twigs, just cut them into little tiny sections and then bundle them all together and then tie them on. Just like that. So it's a little bunch of twigs. But you could have put perhaps 5 or 6 lengths on that. And if you were really creative, you might have wanted to have cut a small section of another branch off and hung that directly under it, so it's almost like a little ladder of sticks, so you've got different points to hang. If you have a little look on the internet, you'll see lots of natural mobiles that you can do, which will give you some ideas, but I bet you're not short of ideas once you start. Let's take our seed heads here and pop those at the end. And we're nearly finished. Let's just have a look at this end as well. I think we need to put our feathers on next. If you've got somewhere to hang it, you might find that if you suspend it in the air and then tie it on, it might be a little bit easier. So orange slices, and then the pine cones, and then we're finished. So the fiddliest thing is to actually attach everything onto the string to start with. So if you used wool, you could always do it in different colours, which would add a little bit more colour to it as well. There we go. And then just to neaten it off, you might want to go along and just cut all the excess string off, like that. And then here we go. We have another natural mobile. Okay, so have fun making it. Go and see what you can find this weekend.